Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. We are remote today.
Way remote. Remote where the...
Who the hell's fuck the chickens?
Word.
I watched two of them do it on the way here. I actually stopped.
Well, the first thing I see is a great big hole in the engine block as soon as I get here. Both sides, I believe.
Oh, one side.
No, it's just-
One side looks like a shotgun.
Yeah, one side looks like bird shot.
The other side definitely has a cavity in it.
Looks like it's been fisted a little bit.
Yeah. Blown the fuck out.
We are at
The Brown
the
Plantation.
Brown residence looking at some stupid two doors. You didn't even want to go for 4 doors and more for more whores or nothing like that. You just straight up deuced it.
Yep, flexing.
Both football windows and just nasty.
I couldn't afford the welding wire that's in this car.
Well, we did talk the other day that this one to my right especially, New Style is all he's ever been in, Dalen. Now, the guy to your right, he's been in just
He's a derby.
minute
That's what
New
we do.
Style, but a lot more caddies, that stuff.
Whenever you get to these builds, we've talked about it a million times. It doesn't matter whether you're in an old iron, new style, whatever. They're all hard as fuck.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're all about the same.
Yeah, and these things, which we spoke on the podcast the other day, now we're getting him in his element.
Yeah, 100%.
To see what these guys run at P Hill.
People
and
can't see who you're pointing at, by the way.
No.
Your face.
hand gestures.
What do I do with my hands? Ricky Bobby.
Which I was here this spring. You weren't.
No, I had to work.
No. Some of that, bill paying shit.
It's about over. The bill pay,
Blame me off.
not work.
He's begging.
He's been wanting to be laid off for the last month and a half.
Oh, hell, my wife's got a decent job.
Start OnlyFans.
I only can.
Only bands.
Only bands.
Well, the last time I was here, it was right after the first P Hill show. They were not real chipper. It was a pretty late night. They didn't have so much of a late night last night. You guys got to go support little sis.
Yes, sir.
How did she fare last night at the cleanup show at Pleasant Hill?
All from the luck we had all day yesterday, we probably should have just kept the car at home.
We fought everything.
Everything all day. Dead batteries in the RV. Loading generators up because your dad forgot to charge the batteries on the car. And then
First world problem.
Mm-hmm. It just
following old people going to scenic route. 30 mile an hour on the way to the 30. We're supposed to be there at noon.
2 minutes before tech ends.
And then, we should have just kept it home.
Mm-hmm.
She lasted maybe 3 minutes, and she wasn't cutting nobody no slack, but she old pain had a hemorrhage on it.
The motor had other plans.
The Snapchat that I got was I did see her wide open as normal.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever was videoing it I could hear her talking some shit. Somebody was talking shit. You know.
They deleted it after.
Did they? Okay.
Yes, they did.
So I saw it pretty quick. But where does she get that?
I think she gets it from her father.
I don't know. She just had one mode and it's go.
Yeah. I think her biggest thing she has to learn what I have to learn too in them old iron. What I've always been told by Jerry, roll the corner, gas the straight. So I've been trying to live by that in that old iron. It helps me, but sometimes it bites
Well, if
me.
you all would quit building her ridiculously hard shit, like, that might soften her driving style.
She connected with one old boy out there, and it didn't look too good for him.
Well, frame rail deletion.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
Horn, gone.
And then
Those frame rail kits, which walking down here to the shop, I did get to see somebody's frame rail deletion kit.
Yes, sir.
If we're talking about frame rail deletes,
I mean,
I think Corey Luddington might need a shout out.
he took the trophy on that one.
That dude, there was no front clip left. He was Snapchatting me while he was in the car. Still.
While he's still sitting in there?
I have a picture on my phone of him sitting in there with his whole clip.
It's
off
gone.
His car, gone. Bumper's gone. He's sitting there Texting on his phone, chilling.
Well, he sent me a Snapchat. He's like, "Well, I think I got it finished off."
He,
And I was like, well, "Where's the front of the car?"
I
All I
don't.
could see was an LS and a little bit of fan sticking out up there.
The one I got was somebody's pointy in the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one I saw was the pointy was off of the fan. And then
You
there was
know-
nothing left of the car.
You know how you always get the Snapchats of people. I'm gonna catch shit over this. They're fucking idiots from the crowd or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, "Oh, he needs to learn how to weld." I'm like, there was frame rail up to that fucking bumper. It ripped the frame. No.
I've been there.
Which we fucked with him a little bit,
We,
you know.
We still got a
There's
bump.
tons of people there last night at Pleasant Hill trying to do like me with bumpers ripped off.
Yeah, that bumper is actually right outside with about 2.5 inches of rail on it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, now Ford needs to figure out how to weld.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit better than Nick and Frank.
That was that, could have been that Monday and Friday
Yeah.
car, you know, like we've talked in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Dude goes in, hung over shit on a Monday. He don't really care. And then Friday is like, you know what? I'm booking out of here at noon, so let's just finish this up real fast.
I don't know. We got 16 gauge. Fuck it. Just roll it into a frame. We'll just use it today.
What random shit are we gonna put in here?
They better be glad I never worked at one of those, especially after I knew about the Derby scene, because I would have been like, all right, this is going to be a factory option on this one. Like loaded spring pockets.
Loaded spring pockets.
Cadillac.
Yeah, here we go.
And factory 14-inch bumper
Yeah,
brackets.
here we go. Look, this is all factory.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. This is a public safety vehicle. It's justified.
And
It's
it's
gonna
going
have a snowplow package. Right?
Yeah.
10-inch pins. On
and it's going home with me afterward.
Yeah. And I want to buy this one. I'm custom ordering this.
Oh my God. Custom ordering it. Boys, we talked the podcast the other day about your guys' team. That all of your all shit is gonna be hard and it's gonna be screaming. Somebody listened to the podcast.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Well, I
I get a
listened to
Snapchat from this one. He said, "Yeah, you're right." Of just
And
gonna
they can't see you, but
full send it.
you're going to have to start using names.
the little one.
It's Chody.
The short one.
It's Chody.
Because Steven said at the podcast last 2 episodes ago, I think,
Yeah.
about, you know, this is your all's first time going out there. Y'all have been out there to watch, understand, but you're going out there to run. He, just like he said, what he thought your all's plan would be is to get it over quick. You know, whoever you draw in the first heat, get it done, get it over with, not none of this patty cake bullshit, which you do see some out there.
Right. Well, and especially in the mod class, and I hate to say that. Like, I'm not trying to bring up bad shit, but they know their shit's hard. And if they draw another hard team, you're not going to see a lot of people go hard to it. Just their driving style with what's going on out there, hitting the main stage for the first time. Like, I feel like it's going to be that turn up from the go.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely gonna
There won't be any of that easing off the line shit.
No.
Is what I was getting at.
Nope, definitely gonna try to make a statement right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for the first time being out there.
Right.
The problem that I have, which we have all spoke about Blizzard Bash, especially on like the national side, the heats are usually awesome.
Yes.
I mean,
First
wide
day
open,
is-
just fucking going at it.
Well, it's because everybody's fresh.
Yes, and
But then they go to Sunday, and it's like 37 and a half minutes before somebody actually makes a decent hit.
From Thursday to Sunday, you use the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying
Especially
to
if you have to go in the long way.
Yes, the
Yeah.
long way. Like, I don't know how some of the guys have even cars that left.
Well, and some of them don't. I mean, they're wheeling shit out there. I've seen them 3-wheeling
And,
shit.
you know, you only
They've
have,
got all 4 wheels on the car, but one of them's not touching the fucking
you only
ground.
have
Yep.
like, what, 4 hours or 5 hours to work on the car?
It's something like
before
that.
it has to go back.
Yeah.
The last time we went in, it was 6 hours. You opened up at 9, and then you got it till 3. But then on Sunday, I think it was 8 to 2. Denton, steering locked, smooth the fuck up. Locked. He's like, dude, what are we going to do? I said, well, just try to get it freed. So we put a new box on it, still locked up. What do you want me to do? I said, we're going to take you out with a skid steer, and you're going to poking hope. He said, what? I said, we're going to sit you out there with a skid steer, and wherever you're pointing, hit them. I don't give a fuck if it's your teammate.
Yeah.
Just make, and he lasted probably 20 minutes with no steering from the jump because it was just so mangled.
And and just like him sitting out there and taking the long shots that he can, helping his teammates out, that's better than not having him out.
There's strength in
Yeah.
numbers. You've got to have everybody out.
Exactly.
Because it drives me nuts to see those cars go out there and not get in.
Yes.
Yes.
Like if you, I understand everybody likes to push shit, especially at home.
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes, 20 minutes, hour from the house, whatever. Mm-hmm. I get it. Push the shit. If you get loaded, take it home, lick your wounds, and go on. If you're in fucking Topeka, get your car in.
Do what you got to do to get your car in.
Yeah, if you get loaded, you're
It's
just
over.
yourself. You fuck your whole
Yeah.
life.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like the first year that all the Ciopas went out.
Yeah.
They cut and cut and cut.
But they made sure that they ran.
Yes, and they made sure, and that's at, I think you were sitting in my house, the wagon.
Yeah.
Was it
Last
Mark or Todd's wagon
Yeah.
was just so fast.
Correct.
I'd never seen a wagon go from point A to point B so quick. Usually it's spinning or ramping,
Right.
and this dude was just annihilating shit. Mm-hmm. They didn't make it to the feature, but everybody knew that they were there.
Right.
But their tech sheets were like 2.5 pages long of this
I
shit.
think one of their cars this year, the one that Toast ran, I don't think it even had a trunk lid on. I think they had to cut the whole trunk lid
Yeah.
off of it.
Mhm.
So,
Which Toast knows that game out there.
yeah. of
You know.
course, yeah. Toast is a great driver.
Oh,
But we've seen it come from around here. Mike Brown, whenever he went out there, don't even unload the fucking thing.
he didn't even make it out.
But they told him not to even bring it out there.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, we started. That was when
Like,
Adam
not
went with us.
calling one person out, but
Yeah,
at that point, like you knew.
yeah. It was 3-on-4 the first heat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You
that's
gotta work.
that, I
You
mean,
gotta
that'd be
out
like,
there. You gotta work real hard when you're down there.
well, that would be
Really.
like
Yes.
that would be like an NFL team right before they go to the Super Bowl, just start juicing everybody,
yeah.
and knowing that they're not going to get to play.
Yeah, yeah. It's some of that. We've talked in the past. I love it because it is a huge stage. I don't like the amount of time you have to spend out there. Hell, you guys are leaving Tuesday,
Monday.
We're leaving Monday morning.
Monday morning. Your tech starts Wednesday morning at
Yes.
8
The
a.m.
first, yeah, we drew first tag.
Oh, you drew first tech. Isn't that
sir.
just a dick shot?
I've heard that's good.
We've heard good and bad things about that. So
Well, you all get the chance to piss them off for everybody.
sorry to everybody.
And here's the thing. One of the guys that are going to be crawling all over your car has crawled all over your car twice this year.
Yes.
3 times.
Yes.
3?
Him 3 times.
Oh,
me
yeah.
2, and Dad 3 times.
Yes, because you didn't run the first P Hill.
Well, I built the car.
Well, that's
Yes.
he's talking 3 different shows. I guarantee it was more than one time through the tech.
Oh,
Yeah, that second show, I had the same car from what was it?
The first show.
Yeah, the first, and I brought that second one, and I went through tech 3 or 4 times, same spot. I didn't get all the plate off, or I studied some of the weld or slag, and one of them wanted me to get in with a chisel and get it all off, and I kind of just rolled my eyes at that, and Austin came out mad. He said, "You just go load that motherfucker up, buddy." And I was like, "Wait a second,
Hold
let's
up.
talk about this." And we went back there, and then he got with the other guy, and they came back there, and they started looking at it, and they said, "We'll just do this, man, and then we'll let you go."
Why didn't you just tell him that you'd run a JMB show or something before? That's all you got to do.
I think it got the plate poured to it.
That's
and
what
then
that's what everybody does at our show. Well, we run this last
Couldn't you have
weekend.
said that shit before I was taking a drink?
Well, I run this last weekend. Well, but different fucking promoter, stupid. Sorry.
God.
Hold on.
Oh, Bud Light Chilada.
Variety pack.
A variety pack.
Got a little
You
extra
can-
lime, a little fuego.
You can have those today. I don't want one.
Those will kill
Those will kill the hangover.
Bite the dog that bit you.
I should.
Why do you think I brought a sigh with me?
Boys.
The countdown has began.
Yeah, we're
And-
nut cutting time.
I still have to go get an enclosed a generator that somebody let us use, and then we still got to load the trailer. I still got a couple things I got to do on my
We
car.
gotta take the car lift down there, or somebody.
Man, I'm thinking about not even. I don't know. I want to bring it, but I don't think we have
It'd be
anybody.
nice
to-
So you guys are talking about taking a lift?
We don't have anybody to take it down there.
I thought he was getting it.
No, I think
I'm gonna
we
bite
gotta
the
have
dog,
somebody.
but I don't want that mango shit. You can have the mango.
I've been saving those for the wife.
And I don't want to let some idiot drive it down and
Yeah.
mess it up.
Regular.
That lift thing's awesome out there, but honestly,
Overkill.
I've seen so many guys do it without it. That the benefit would be if you had a frame machine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and all bullshit aside, Josh Gordon and I have been on this forever. He's actually got one that's fucking mobile.
That's portable.
Yeah.
You know how much money you can make.
That's what I told him. I said
See.
$150 a pull.
Yeah,
Our
I was
uncle-
gonna say
Pay that.
$400 an hour or something. They will pay that.
Yes.
Well, I told
Our,
him, I said, if we went out there and wanted to dedicate 2 guys to that frame machine and a welder,
They
You know,
never
sometimes-
stopped. They would not stop for 4
you would
days.
have that bitch lined up all the way back to New London.
Exactly.
Like,
our uncle actually has a portable a frame machine, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, I said, can we maybe use this? You know?" And he's like, "Are you high?"
Well, not right
The
now.
frame machine will even touch.
No, it's an old one. He's
no,
like,
but this
"That's-
one, I mean, it's I think it's 25 ton. Like it would do damage. Like we've straightened several cars on it.
There's so much with these cars that we are actually looking at right now. You can do a lot with a really good porta power.
To a point.
Well, especially with the cradles in there, because then you can, like, if you bend in front of the spring pocket, you can push off, off the protector, and you can push. I mean,
We
it takes a
broke
little
2
bit.
out there when Rob was still running, mod shit. We broke 2 of them between the box and the bumper. Just trying to get the fucking thing pushed back out. We U-shaped, I don't know how many of the extensions.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just junk, and then finally blew the seals.
We learned real quick where you can push off without the extensions.
Exactly.
I mean, but you're sitting there, I mean, you're wasting 15, 20 minutes just figuring out where do I need to push off this sumbitch.
Yeah.
Like that year that Eddie went out there, and the front bumper just went straight.
Oh,
to the
yeah.
ground. And I've seen him in the pits trying to fix that fucking thing. He had the biggest porta potty I've ever seen in my fucking life. On this fucking horn, pushing this and just tearing the horn in half. I'm like, what are you doing, Eddie? He's like, you gotta do it something, you can't just leave it on the trailer.
Right.
Yeah, that shows a lot of drive to not leave your teammates hanging out. After it went down, we knew he couldn't do much with the front,
Right.
but he drove the car in reverse as much as he could until he had to turn it around.
I'm telling you all are about to experience something you've never felt pulling into a derby arena. It's almost euphoric.
Orgasmic.
yeah, I was about to say,
Wherever you
I have a
pull
hard
in
on
there,
going in there.
I mean, it's fucking insane.
My luck though, I'll pull a Teddy P and have my fucking wheel fall off.
No, you can't dick kick me for that. No. I said if you lost steering, not lose a fucking wheel on the way out. That's just make sure all of your spindle nuts are really tight.
Together. And,
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm just telling you, whenever you pull through there, like, you're really not even nervous sitting outside because you've been out there forever. You've been planning on this all fucking weekend. Like, you're good, you're sitting there. And then everything changes whenever you
Put
start
it in
driving.
drive.
Yeah, you can hear the crowd.
Everybody's there. Buddy Hess is fucking with you through the window.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I pulled in, he was like, here comes Dirty Steve. And as I was pulling through there, and I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like looking around. Everybody's there.
And was it sold out that year?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, 2018. That shit was packed. I pulled
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
that was the first year they sold out.
Yeah. I pulled in there. 117 is going insane because it was midnight and everybody was fucking hammered drunk. So everybody's over there screaming. Like, I'm trying to park over that direction. They're out there yelling at me. No, I can't do that. The dude across from me is literally bouncing in his seat, like smiling and shit. I'm like, fuck no. Calm down. Like,
We got a long ways to go here,
like,
dude.
we're in a bunch of junk and like we need, this is going to be at least 30, 45 minutes here. So just, you calm the fuck down.
Yeah, we don't need you acting like that.
Yeah, because like he's over there, he's like, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Wait a minute.
Go ahead,
Sit
get
down.
out. Yeah.
And I'm like looking around for Cody Meyer. I'm like, where is that little cocksucker at? In that Lumina, here we go. But it's insane. There's people, like, everybody's like, I don't know. I know that they're not looking at you, but it feels like everybody is looking straight
Right in your
at you.
soul.
Yeah. Because you pull out there, like, I can remember sitting there, and we were all staged up, and, you know, the lights get dim. The numbers come across all the boards, the American flag's waving, and you see the 5, 4, 3, and you don't even hear anything. You don't hear the motors. You don't hear shit. You're in there checking, making sure you got your park lock in. You know, because I still run a training mountain shifter. So I'm making sure I got my pin and shit in. I'm in reverse. I'm like, fuck, here we go. And like, whatever it hits the 5, I go ahead and unbuckle my seatbelt because I didn't want to be hung in my car. And I'm unbuckling seatbelt, making sure I got this motherfucker in reverse, looking at everybody. And then one hits, flags drop, and then it's like, pow, you come back to reality. You're like, oh, okay, we're just derbying. Like, that's what we're doing now. And then you back up and you start getting, you know, who you're running with, tunnel vision. You start, like, the first person, as soon as I backed out, the first person I seen was Dale Culver. And I'm like, fuck yes, okay, we're close. Like, here we are. And we just started doing our thing. You know, I was Corey, Teddy, Rob, Trey, all of them were like, hey, stay out of the fucking corners, work the long end, you know, back and forth. And finally, you're just set in there, and that's what you're doing. And then about that time, you see a big puffball come out of your transmission, and you're done. But
We'll have that on bigger jobs.
But here's the thing with these guys, you know, what they're taking. Dalen built in his Element, 9802.
Cleanest one we read.
Cody's got the 03 Life.
Yeah, like
correct?
Cody. Yeah.
But now, in this rule set, that's not the normal 03 Life that is around here.
no.
Not even close.
No, you can actually eliminate some of the steering issues with this build.
They're basically the same as every
Yeah.
other car.
Yes.
As long as you don't get ignorant and
Yes.
PJ snarl and run up the ass into something and rip everything out.
I told Cody if he even touches anybody behind the back doors that I was going to get out and punch him square.
Yeah, he was. We actually have a
I
group.
told him I would come off the top of my car and just fucking
We actually have a group chat.
Captain
And,
Insano shows no mercy.
We were talking, and
Dalen. Badass.
Dalen comes in with a big old chat. He said, "If any of you motherfuckers donate your suspension where you don't need to be," he's like, "I'm gonna fucking ruin your day."
You know, it's different if somebody backs into you, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
They come across there and scoop you. Like, I get it. And honestly, I kind of get running up the ass end of something because that shit happens. Like,
Oh, yeah.
well, I mean, if you're in the fucking mood, like, and you're in
Yeah.
the zone,
Yeah, if you're just going, shit happens.
or no steering, you know,
Yeah.
if you're already at that
Yeah,
point,
exactly.
and then you back off of somebody and your drag link and everything's laying on the It is
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
you might as well try for the cool
Right.
guy points,
Right.
you know.
Which when we're watching it at the house, we get to see those, because they'll zoom in. You'll see a box hanging. You'll see a steering
And you're
rack
like, oh,
hanging.
here we go.
You'll see every piece of metal just hanging.
Well, and I've been
Well-
I've been sitting there before. We watched CJ do it. Remember, whenever he run up the ass of that old iron, I was like, "What is he doing?" And I talked to him after it was over because I was actually out there. I was like, "CJ, what in the fuck?" He's like, "I don't know, man. I had the shot. I took it. I don't know. It happened." Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, anytime you throw 700 horsepower in a derby car and you decide that you're going to go,
I'm getting thirsty. I think I need a beer when you're on this fucking car. I'm just going to donate my shit.
yeah.
It's getting hot.
It's getting hot. Famous words, Trey Ewer. It's getting hot in here. I want to get out of here.
You don't have to worry about that out there.
Because Trey just gets thirsty.
Yeah. The funniest thing last year, we was watching, and Trey's on his way out, you know, and he has this guy pinned up against this wall. I see him just put his shit in park and shut his shit off and break his stick. I sent him a snap. I said, what kind of bitch move is that? He's like, I like to win.
Well, that's what we were talking about, the other day, where those scenarios happen. That's where I covered my nuts as soon as I showed up. Because we said, there's a chance that if one of the guys on their team loses steering and he gets in a corner with two other guys from the other team, how long is somebody going to work to try to get him out? Yeah, so it's like, well, if I get him free, there's a chance to free up these other two cars.
Well, that's where you donate your body.
Correct. That's when you're like, well, sorry, bro, you're stuck in the corner.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So now us three can work on those two.
Yep.
So hopefully you don't have that
That's when you play defense.
loss of. Hold on,
Against
them.
I'm
Yeah.
covering up. Loss of steering because stupid shit happens. You guys can go run against a team and ass end of a wagon that you're running against is sitting really, really low.
Really low.
Hopefully, in the heat, you don't have to worry about that.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
but the problem is these guys, they're going to have the noses up so high, even on the wagons, which we've talked about. The old iron, like Alan wants that shit straight. Well, they're going to run them.
I get that, but honestly, without being able to sadag the shit before,
Not going to have the
And
scoop.
This year, too, on the wagon, you can't run a back bumper on the rails. So you can't run a back bumper on the rails on them this year. So they can't have a back bumper. So they're not going to be
So they're going to be, if they're going to be hammering you, they're
It
going to be
sounds
hammering
like
you with
they're
a link
leveling-
back.
Yeah, with the rails instead of.
it sounds like they're leveling the Markley playing field.
Well, I think a bit of that was from
with the spikes
Sumner's.
in the speakers.
Yeah.
What they did
Gauges,
with theirs.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
But I'm
thing.
just saying, in the heat, even if you do take a shot from a wagon, you ought to still be able to pillar park
Exactly.
and not have to worry about ripping
And we
suspension
have a
off.
wagon on our team.
Right.
So
Is Mr. Jeffers bringing a
we're
wagon?
bringing a thick Buick.
Little thick frame Buick trick. We've seen it before.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to guess Harley is bringing 98.
It looks phenomenal. I'm very proud because me and Cody were kind of skeptical at first, but he has all good shit now, and it looking right. I have a picture of it.
Dude, that shit he sent at P Hill in September.
Yeah,
Dude, that bitch was nasty
Yeah.
too.
It looked
I
good.
screamed.
The new style.
Yes, he had a new style, and it was just.
He drove good too.
Yes.
Man, he drove
Yes,
good.
he drove real good.
He never,
Yeah.
he never got overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying?
No, we give him shit too. We're like, man, you like to party, and he drove, and I was like, God dang.
Well, at that point, I mean, he might have felt like, with you all giving him shit, he had something to prove.
I think, and also I think he tried calming down so it'd be like what he'd be driving in Blizzard Bash. I mean, just be calm. There's a time to get wild, and then there's a time to calm down. There's a time to.
Without a doubt, that Thursday night is the time to get wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
That very first one.
Because you'll have all the time to drive Sunday.
Now, here's the question. You guys, you don't care really when you draw. You've all seen the driver's list. Is there a team that you have in your head that you don't want to draw?
HLK. Don't really want to go.
Jason Coke,
Right.
them guys. Because
I think, in my opinion, they are the number one seed team.
RPM Redemption?
They're a good candidate.
I like Derek. I like all them guys a lot. They're probably a third, second team. I think we can hang with them guys, but like you said, they always come one team, one spot short out of there.
It's always
And-
dumb luck.
And
too.
and with what they had with the guy in the imp, he had troubles. He had carburetor troubles, and I know that motor was brand new, and I don't think they wanted to take a
I
chance.
can't-
I'll tell you what, Hunter is a hell of a driver.
Yes, he is.
Hunter is.
I cannot wait to watch this year because I don't think you're going to see the imps that you seen last year.
Yes.
Surprisingly, I know a few guys that bring it in.
Well, I know there will be some there because they're legal, but
Pretty much every team had one last year,
Uh-huh.
and I think we're on the same page.
100%.
I think they were like, fuck this.
Yeah,
Well,
I think they're switching back to GM.
I think everybody knows.
Just like Cadillac.
Well, the fucking parts aren't available
No,
unless you
not at all.
know somebody, or you've got a field full of them fuckers sitting out back.
Well, didn't Jerry have to buy one or two extra
Yeah.
just for the parts
100%.
that he
But
had
that's
to take?
Jerry too.
Yeah,
Like,
he bought a frame at Blizzard Bash, I
Uh-huh.
think, and then had it for parts sitting there.
and ended up, I think he robbed some parts of it.
Yeah.
You know, and the lower Aeon design is not very good.
It's horrible.
It's terrible. They're almost
Because
as bad as the
you
Cadillac.
see everywhere, oh yeah, and they're junk. I mean, we've talked to several people about that shit.
Yeah, terrible.
But you take those amps, I've watched them run all summer. A lot of them are still straight as a pin. Can't turn the fucking things.
Yep. Aaron Harrington took his leftover
Everywhere.
to Spring X. Same problem.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like cars, I mean, awesome looking. Sitting there with the wheels going, tink.
Well, I think everybody's seeing that now, you know, because they're outlawed. Oh, you can't run an apparel. They're so fucking hard. They are hard, but it don't make two shits how
But-
hard anything is if you can't turn the fucking.
They have a
Yes.
minus. How many times I can't even remember who said it. Caddy suspensions suck.
Well, everybody has. Teddy said it.
Yeah, and the guys
Rob
who run the
said it.
caddies.
And
Corey
just
said
that's
it.
all
like-
Dad built. And there ain't no fucking way I would hop on the car. I drove his down in the lot down there, just trying to spin that thing. There ain't no way. I felt like I have the CDL to drive that fucking thing.
14
Well, actually,
point
I
turn
think-
this bitch.
I think actually next year we are requiring a CDL if you're on the caddy.
Class A.
Class A, yes, for sure.
Hey,
That's what
damn.
that is.
Cadillac driver.
You know, that I'm glad you guys are taking what you're taking. The track is huge, yes. But it's still maneuverability when it comes down. If you do make it to Sunday, when there's roughly 24 cars that are going to be out there for the feature,
Or more.
isn't it? They take 6 teams or 8 teams because you'll.
It takes
6 teams, I think, to the feature. Each feature.
Is
No.
it 6? I thought it was 4.
I don't know.
Teams to the feature.
And then you've
It
got
might be.
a consi to come through. Most of the time, not everybody's having 4 cars left
Right.
over.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You know that's a chance. So you are going out there. Sometimes 1 car, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. But the maneuverability. You and I were talking last week. Shea Bob Walden. He goes out there in the outlaw class. Well, he had a Crown Vic left from somewhere, and all these guys had suicides. The 5-foot cars. You know, just
Heavy.
he drove around them fuckers like it was nobody's issue and won it.
Yeah, the only bad thing is getting when you get caught in your little car
Yeah.
by one of the
That hurts.
It hurts. bad.
Well, I mean, I've been there. The hell, Shelbina or Salisbury last year, I was stuck on a bumper. Like I was stuck on a Cadillac bumper, the front end of a Cadillac, with my little M body, and the transmission went out of the Cadillac. And the guy was like, "No, back up." I'm like, I can't pull you. I can't move you. He's like,
Yes.
"Well, push me forward." I was like, I can't. Like, it won't do it. Like I was sitting there-
4,000-pound car,
Versus
7,000
Yeah,
pound
like, I
car.
was sitting there just blowing the fucking tires off the back of it. I'm like, I can't move you.
And that was doing something to blow the tires off his M body too.
Yeah, that's stock rear end, high ass gears. Like
You know, that's just
that
kind of
car was built as a hobo car. Mm-hmm. Like full blown Candace's hobo rules. That's why I built it. But like you said, if you get caught, it's usually never.
It's never good.
It's
No.
never good. You're getting wrapped around your little bar
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Now, you guys, RDP, that's your all's team. That's Realistic Derby Project. That is from all the online stuff, right?
They put on
Yes.
everything. The creator of the game, we was bullshitting at the Derby sitting there at Blizzard Bash last year. He's like, "Yeah, I'd like to bring a team out here, me and Cody." And he's like, "Well, if y'all do, I'll sponsor y'all. You know, I'll pay y'all's entry and all that good shit." And he's like, "All right, we'll do it." and he just kept up with his word. Jesse Myers, you know, he's treated us good. He's paying for our cars to get graffiti down there by a guy that plays RDP and all that shit, and he's doing all the graffiti, and we're having all the kids that show up and that play. It's gonna sign the hood of my car and
That's
stuff like that. Like
That's awesome.
that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kyle Pugler's son is always messaging me and snapping me and stuff, and he's gonna be one of the first ones to come over and sign. And
Blake,
Tyler.
Tyler.
Which, I mean, we've talked about that before. The video game thing's not my forte. I mean, just but there is a whole shitload of people that play it.
Oh yes.
I mean, I've been hit up, I don't know how many times, to sponsor that. Like, there was one, I think there was one this weekend
Might have been.
that I think they had a $600 or $700 payout.
There's actually a lot of money in that game.
A lot of money in the game.
I ain't worth the fuck at it in real life. I'm not going to be worth the fuck at it on a computer.
I haven't got to sit down and really check it out. I know you've got to have a pretty good gaming computer or laptop to do it.
If it's not for a PlayStation, I ain't playing it. Sorry.
You can hook a PlayStation controller up to it,
Or a steering wheel.
or steering wheel. Fuck that. That sounds terrible.
Well, no steering wheel for you
Well-
on that deal?
No, when you play online, like you don't get to look out of the car. It's like a bird eye view, and it's not very fun.
Oh,
Hopefully, they can bring something up sometime that can let us drive like in the car. So that would make the game. That would put the game over the top.
Change the camera angle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't grasp that whole.
Yeah, we don't. We've really cut down on it because we've been building real cars
Right.
all year long.
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's cool that they do that shit. I don't.
I feel like keep up their driving skills. You know?
Yeah,
It's not my time.
Right.
Yeah.
First off, I don't have the fucking time.
Exactly.
You will come way off time.
I mean, what?
You will come way off time.
Right. I
But-
guess, maybe.
Kind of got to build a car in that layoff time.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, if I don't get that car built, you know how much shit I'm going to catch over that?
A lot.
If I don't get a fucking car built? Like, fuck
Because
that.
I told you it's got to be done well before March.
Oh, 100%. Especially if we do end up having a derby again, some more.
Yeah.
Like, our schedule went from 4 derbies next year to 1, maybe.
After
We
last,
might as well jump into that a little
let's
bit.
do it,
I mean,
and then we'll get back to these guys.
Yeah.
Last Saturday, we had talked after the Derby.
I mean, you could tell surely by our podcast that I was fucking over it.
We were done. Everybody thinks, man, you promote derbies, you're going to make money.
Well, I actually got yelled at and told, you can't tell me you don't make any fucking money. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I was like, until you start doing this bookwork, bitch? Nah.
Correct. Yeah, because when the wives are sitting there writing all the costs down, and then you look at those costs and you're like, oh my God.
Well, and we might make a little bit. $4,000, I think, is the most that we've pulled out of profit-wise,
And that was the very first one.
and roll that shit right the fuck back into
Yes.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, and may catch some shit. Well, you ain't doing it right. Well, fuck, show me, teach me,
Correct.
learn me right the fuck now.
Because with our payouts, which we
Yeah.
have talked about, our payouts in Missouri are the best around for any fair shows, period.
It is what it is.
Minus Palmyra.
Right.
Palmyra's got a $20,000 budget. Here you go. There's $20,000. Make payouts.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's probably the largest fair.
It is. Yeah.
And you got Bowling Green.
Correct.
Those aren't comparable to fair shows.
No.
Exactly.
Those, I mean, hell, forever, Bowling Green was the Bud Shootout. Like, that was a legitimate. There was people backing that shit.
Sponsored.
Well,
yes.
I think
Big
Bowling Green
sponsor.
last year or this year, whatever. I don't think they had over 100 cars this year.
And, I mean, we fucking prided ourselves on being for the driver, for the fan, at the expense of ourselves. And I'm done.
Yeah. It sucks balls when you gotta, have these guys. I'm pretty sure he delivered it, or Alan delivered it, but Dalen had to come and pick it up.
Yeah, the fucking skid loaders. You're
Skid
begging.
loader, yeah.
Begging, borrowing, stealing, because if I had to go out and rent out of my pocket skid loaders for the weekend, you're talking $500 plus per skid loader.
Yes. Then your fuel.
And you gotta put fuel back in it. And, yeah.
So
Put
roughly
somebody in it.
$2,000, $2,500 for a weekend.
Right there.
Where we take that and put it back into the payouts for the drivers.
And then I get Bobcat of Columbia, which is super awesome of them. They bring me 4 badass skid loaders. There was 2 740s and 2 770s. And the dude was like, here, do whatever you want with them. One of them had 23 hours on it when it got dropped off.
19.
19 hours on it?
When I started it Wednesday night, it was 19.1
And then
hours.
whenever the one with the most hours on it, I think was 400.
Yep.
Like, so they brought us brand new skid. And then before I leave that derby Saturday, I had 7 messages of people telling me how big of a piece of shit I was because we weren't getting the cars off track fast enough.
Correct.
I'm like, bring a fucking skid loader. Come on with it.
Which I apologize. I said on the podcast last week, I apologize because I'm pretty prideful of holding my temper.
Me too. Especially when it comes to the business. Because I'm not otherwise, because I don't give a fuck. Like, what your personal opinion is of me, I don't care.
Yeah.
But there is other people's reputation riding on what Filthy Promotions has done. And I try to keep my mouth shut. But Saturday was it. That was it. It was enough. I'd had a fucking enough. Listen to that shit all year. And again, we're focusing on all the bad parts of it because there was good parts. There's a lot of people that we love your shows. This is the only place we're running.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to see that.
Yes.
I mean, they proved themselves.
I think you guys have like driver-wise had some of the best battles.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
always said quality,
Yeah.
quality over quantity, and I'm okay with that. Like we had every show that we had over this year, none of them had under 55 cars. That was our lowest show. Everything else was that 60 mark or above. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of support, but the scrutiny that comes behind that shit. Fuck it,
Yeah.
done.
Which, we said after it was all said and done, we both looked at each other and was just like, yeah. Done.
Fuck this.
And then you get a week of, okay, let's calm down a little bit.
Right,
We haven't posted anything on Facebook itself, but we have talked about it.
right.
Mother's Day.
As long as I can get the venue locked down, I think that's still going to happen.
Yep.
That will be the final out for me. Now, I'm not saying that one of our people won't want to continue to do something, but it will not be under me anymore.
Yep.
I'm ready to start building my 2 cars a year, run a couple times a year.
I've already been pricing out campers.
Oh, yeah. Yes, 100%.
I've already got all the fishing equipment.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that, but I have been pricing out campers.
4 years of the shit, 5 years. 5 years next year.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a difference between DB's checkbook and AB's checkbook. I can't afford AB's RV. I can't. I couldn't even afford the R, more or less the RV.
You probably just let you use it.
I'm sure he would.
But
That is the thing about AB. If you need it, and if he's got it, he'll give it to you. I was kind of hoping he was going to sit down here today, but I think he's a little wore out from
Yeah, he does.
Elena's
oh
shit.
no, he had to get some fucking
You
weed.
guys
grill
came
in
around
there.
ranch shit, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them feeding cattle and
Yeah,
moving
hay
hay and
and-
shit.
But us bleeding into our 5th year of doing this shit, I'm done with it. It's time for me to phase out. The bullshit that I've caught, I would say the last 2 years, has affected my performance as a promoter. And I hate to even be that person because I would say what people got from me last Saturday was about 60%.
But like I said, when you catch so much shit, you can only hold it.
Well, it does.
Yes,
And-
it wears you out.
And it's not fair to the drivers or the fans that I wasn't 100% there for that derby. And I get it.
Yeah.
Because whenever we were teching cars, I'm not saying that anything got through tech because it didn't. Because all my guys were still working at 100%. But as far as me sitting there, I didn't give a fuck what was going on. I wanted to get it over with, get the money put in the bank, get everybody paid up, get the bank account closed, close my fucking insurance out for the year, and not have to look at that shit anymore.
Yep.
I mean, there was at one point whenever we were packing everything up at the end of the night, I didn't give a fuck whether we picked that PA system up or not.
Yeah.
Leave the bullshit. I was at the point at the end of it where our deposit for the fairgrounds, fucking keep it. You all put the fucking dirt back. You all can have the shit.
But
But I was there at 8 o'clock the next fucking morning, pushed all the fucking dirt off, cleaned everything up.
yep.
And the thing is like you guys do this so people have derbies to come fucking watch.
100%. Yeah.
And then like people might bitch because the text a little bit too hard. But everything's fair.
Right.
Fair. It's all fair. That's
Right.
what draws cars in.
Tell you what, if they
People
think
giving y'all shit for that.
it's not fair, go to Blizzard Bash or something like that. Go to a big
Right.
show. You
Well,
get
and
paid.
that's what everybody bitches about. Like, we've had people bitch about payouts and buy-ins, and I'm like, man, you motherfuckers are going and giving these bigger shows all this money. And
What was your
trying to-
hold on? What was y'all's buy-in for the quote?
$800.
$800, and you're running for
20 grand.
20 G's. So 800 to 20. So if you do 400 for 10, 200 for 5.
Right. And we're asking for, what is it, 300 for 6.
For 6. For 2 people.
Right.
So $150 a man to run for $3,000.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Right.
No. Some
And then
people
what about
will.
this big $100,000 to win show that's coming up? It's $1,000 buy-in.
Is that going to happen, though?
I don't know.
There's a $50,000 one that is
Right.
for sure happening. I think in that King of Ohio shit or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
something like that. Yeah.
That's coming up quick.
But it's a big ass buy-in too.
Yeah.
But I'm running for 50 G's. I
But
mean,
you
that's
see, you take a person, run-of-the-mill person, your average fair driver,
can't afford that shit.
they're not going to do it.
Because okay, we're gonna throw it in right now. Don't count. If I say $20,000, am I close
To what?
per car?
No, more than that.
Bingo.
No, more than that. I got probably 35 or 40 in mine.
Yeah,
There you go.
mine's a cheaper one. I think I got like 25, 27 in mine.
There you go.
Yeah. So that that is justified a little bit, but they're not building these.
We're not asking somebody to build a full tilt mod car to come run our shit.
No.
I'm trying to give people $6,000 for an $8,000 stock build.
Yep.
And that's an $8,000 on the top end. Mm-hmm. Like, there's guys running around the house that don't have $4,500 in their fucking car.
No. $500 LS with a turbo 400.
That setup I took to Bowling Green, that was just 03. I put a new stub underneath it. First 03 I ever built. Had a stock 350 in it. Stock.
You couldn't hear that fucking thing running. Over anybody.
It had a stock 14 bolt in it, braced, and it had good tires and stuff. It had a good transmission, and I won $3,500 with that car in 2 runs, something like that, 3,000. And you won another 1,800 with it.
No, I won $2,500 bucks.
2,500 making with it, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It paid for itself.
Yeah, and then we turned around and sold it to Avery,
Right.
and and made our money back off that from it. You can still, that whole thing is you can still compete budgetly, like.
Yes. Well, and that's what we've tried to do.
And it's not, and that's what Keith tried to explain to us too. It's not about like what all you have in it. It's if your shit's reliable.
And if it's your knowledge, it's how
Yeah.
well you can build, how well you can drive.
Right. But
Which I've never seen Uncle Keith usually have a motor problem. You know what I'm saying?
Never. And I'll
His shit's
tell you
like a
what,
sewing machine. It
yeah,
it just
that
rolls.
That man has taught me everything I know about new styles now. Like he's the one that taught me how to do, how I tilt, and then from there I took it and put my own with it,
Yes.
and then did my own thing with it.
But it was almost a breath of fresh air Sunday, knowing that I didn't have to fuck with this next year.
I don't know how y'all do it. I
Well,
would be so stressed out.
The man hours that goes into that shit.
I don't have that temper to deal with people like that.
Evidently, I didn't either. So.
Well, temperament does go quite a ways. Yeah, some people just aren't people. A people person. He is. I am.
I'm not.
I'm not married. I'm married to the complete opposite.
I'm not.
Yeah, she's sitting here. She does all our editing and stuff, and she does all of our paperwork at the Derby sign-ins.
I work
Yeah, and I mean, my wife's the same way.
Yeah.
Because she does all the insurance shit, the
But she's a
logistical
people
stuff.
person.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, people say, like, I'm a dick, and I don't even mean to be a dick. I just don't know, because I won't talk to you. Like, I just don't know what the fuck to say. I would love to talk to you. I just don't
Right.
know, how to.
You're one of them where somebody comes up and talks to you.
Yes, and I
You
can
will talk.
to
You will
them. And
converse.
If I know you, like, I can be chatty Cathy.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I first started doing this shit, like, I loved it. I did. I enjoyed it. Like, I looked forward to doing it. I enjoyed the phone calls, the getting everything set up.
the happy faces.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. You'd go around and you'd get to talk to people and meet new people. And now it's to the point where it's like, man, fuck you. Everybody. All of you.
I don't want a message.
You
I
kiss
don't
my
want a phone
ass.
call.
Yeah.
I don't want to Snapchat about it. You want to talk to me about not that?
Yeah, we're good.
All
with
good.
it.
You know, when it starts getting where you don't want to do it.
Well, and that's what we've done. We've taken my hobby and turned it into a fucking job.
Yeah.
Last Wednesday, he texted me. He said, skid steers are there now. I was like, cool. I'll get a jump start on this. And as soon as I got in the skid steer, it was like, I want out of this. And then Thursday night showed up. I don't want to be here. And then Friday, okay. And then as soon as Saturday hits, you're like, let's get this shit over with.
So do you guys still gotta go to work, and then after you're done with work?
Oh yeah. Well,
I leave work at 5 o'clock, and I
rolled in-
drive straight to Paris.
I left Monette, Missouri at 3 o'clock on Thursday. I got home about 6. They were all building the track. I come up there, I didn't even get a fucking skid loader. I told them, I said, you all get roughed in. I'll come up here tomorrow and finish it. I'd run a skid loader all week. That's all I'd done in Monette on dirt. Run a fucking skid loader. Well, then I come and run a skid loader all weekend. Mm-hmm. And then back Monday, back in a fucking skid loader.
Yep.
But you're ready to burn that bitch down.
Oh. Well, I mean, whenever I went back to road work, and my job was skid loader and all that shit again, like, it's not fun anymore when you come home and have to run a fucking skid loader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Burnt the fuck
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
And
Like,
when
really,
I
I can't believe that you two haven't flipped some. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck
On
that.
the work side, where
It'd take me
you're
a
in the
little bit to learn this
cutter,
job.
and you're in the skidder where, man, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of cutting. I'm tired of hauling. Fuck it. Let's flip flop for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to give you a little bit of refresher.
It's
We don't get that refresher, so
Because whenever we first started all this shit, I was working for myself. 100% self-employed, hauling campers and shit. So the week leading up, or even 2 weeks if I wanted it, like, I took 2 fucking weeks off. And I would get the derby set up, get everything ready. Well, now you're dependent on Derek, Tanya, Lish. Like, I'm calling them. I'm like, I don't have fucking time to make these phone calls. Somebody's got to do it. We haven't had a drop of sponsorship money in a year and a half. We quit asking for it. Fuck it. I didn't have time to do it.
that's
Before, whenever,
that's that beg, steal, and borrow shit we were talking about.
whenever I had all the time off, people don't realize that. Like, I'd start 2 months before the Derby started, and I'd go around, take these sponsorship packages, go around to these businesses, talk to these people. If they gave us $150, that's great. If they gave us $600, that's awesome. If they gave us $50, whatever, we'll take it. Whenever I've got the Friday, I get home at 8 o'clock Friday before the fucking Derby is Saturday. You don't have time to do that shit. And whenever I'm on a trimmer or the Beaujolais or fucking skid loader, you can't make those phone calls.
no.
People don't want to give you money over the phone anyway.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
They want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They want to see you. And I think just all that shit, and I mean, there's no profit left at the end of it. I mean, whenever you're paying out $15,000 at a fair show that's going to bring in 1,800 people, there's no money left.
Just like when we handed out the points fund, which we talked about that. Rob won the overall. He looked at his check and he said, "Is this a mistake?" And he smiled when he said it because he was pimping Teddy a little bit when Teddy got his check for 3rd place overall. And he was like, "What'd he say? Does it got a 0 on the back of it or something like that?"
Zeros on it?
And he looked at it. He was like, "Okay, I'll buy lunch." Rob looked at his. He says,
No.
I'm buying dinner. So that was an extra, almost $3,000 from that night that
Well, in Halloween Havoc last year, that's the people that's the shit people don't see. Halloween Havoc last year, instead of me making everybody run heats, in the right before the drivers' meeting, like I didn't have time to discuss it with him, my wife, anybody. I go, fuck it, everything's a feature. We're not running any heats. So I just doubled the fucking prize money. Well, there's another $8,000 or $10,000 that you've thrown out the window, and praying to God that you can cover it.
That's the shitty part. You're like, you start kind of looking at people in the crowd. Okay, that's probably 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at 15 ahead. Okay, we can cover the payout.
Because drivers don't cover the motherfucker.
No, fuck no. $30 fucking entry, $50 entry.
Yeah.
You never cover that shit.
Nope. There will be something coming out about May.
We'll get that shit. As long as I get the venue locked down. If I can't get a venue locked down, fuck it, we'll knock it in the head and be done with it.
Yep.
You can take your filthy promotion apparel and hang it on the wall or throw it in fucking trash. I don't care.
Yep. Let's get back to these boys here.
You all have had a hell of a season, though.
Yes.
Man, we had one of the best seasons to date so far.
It's busy, man.
Busy,
it took a
busy.
toll out of you. It'll take one out of you. We were running either every weekend or every other weekend all summer.
And you know, we at the beginning of the year we said, "Oh, we're just gonna focus on Blizzard Bash. That's it, all year long." And then ended up running.
Yeah, that's why you
7,
didn't.
8, 9,
Yeah,
10
that's why you didn't
Well,
even run the first P Hill show
Exactly.
Well,
until after it, and then you looked at me as like, I'm getting in one of these fucking Cadillacs. That was his exact words. I was like, oh.
Well, my deal with all that is, and some of the fans get it, some of them don't. You're fucking burnt out. This time of year, you're
yes.
fucking burnt.
Especially when you're like when I did that car for Bollinger, 5 days was all I had for my uncle. Said, "Hey, come get this car. We'll throw a stub in it." And
while we were at work,
and
we
it
had
was
money.
he was at work. I was working on the car. His first 03 I've done. There's different parts you got to put in these things, and I worked 3 days on suspension alone.
And then
Well, the laundry list from Rock Auto
Yeah.
alone is enough that most people are like, fuck that. I'm not even going to fuck with that. Because everybody's like, oh, these 03s. Well, if you have to run an aluminum cradle in them and you break an aluminum cradle, it's not just throw a cradle in it.
No, you got to pull
You
the
got to
fucking
pull
engine
every
out.
motherfucking thing loose. The whole front suspension has to come loose to get the front cradle out of it. And I don't think that people understand that. Where they're like, oh, these 03s, he broke a cradle, he'll replace it and come back next weekend. Well, he might, but it's going to be 3 days worth of work.
It's a job.
yeah,
Especially if you've got your front end all welded down, if you got the arms and shit welded down, like all that shit's got to come loose.
It's an entire day of cutting shit apart
Exactly.
to get it out.
Exactly.
So you see these guys are, man, holy shit. Everything's sitting on the track. Well, they
I've
got
got the rest of the week to work on this piece of shit to get it ready for next weekend.
but in all reality, you don't start working on it until about Wednesday night.
Right, 100%.
correct, because your give a shit is done for a few days.
Yeah.
You're like,
Well,
I'm going to catch a breath.
Like I talked, and Derek didn't even know it whenever I said I was going to let him happen. I'm going to let 03s run in this team show.
Oh boy.
But you can't touch the front end of it.
Boom.
Can't touch the fucking suspension whatsoever.
Balin's like, damn it.
Pass.
9802 all day.
Yep.
Pass.
Now, let's go to that. We know you're a 98. Have you even considered going the 97 and a half or
No, fuck
older?
no.
No?
No.
You know, I had this exact same conversation with Riggs whenever we were down at Hot Springs. The exact same conversation. I was like, what is it? He's like, no.
No. Fuck
98
no.
to 02s.
The horns on a 97 and older will not.
We can't take it.
They can't take it. Especially on a square body. A square body or a 91 to 94, I will straight blow the horns out on them. I'd do an HD or a limo frame. I would run one of them all day. I'd like to try one, but
Well, you were at Sturgis when
Yeah.
Pudwitter blowed the horn smooth off of that bitch.
Yeah, well, they had kickers, and that once you take the give out of the frame, it's 3 times as hard on the rest of it.
Yes.
With enough welding wire and plate, you can make anything on it.
Oh yeah, you got to really get your wheels turning, stuff like that.
We've been hard pressed trying to get somebody on here to talk to the listeners about the mod cars. And I'm glad that, you know, we're finally getting to sit down, both of us, with you and talk about it, because I don't think that the people that even watch the stuff understand what's going on there.
I feel like anymore, you have to have an industrial structural like degree.
Almost like an industrial engineer.
Yeah, degree to build one of these cars.
Well, and
If you see me out here tilting a car, I have a degree finder. I have on the bumper. I have 3 degree finders I put on bumper.
I've told
On frame,
everybody,
everything.
geometry and demolition derby are hand in hand.
Geometry and physics.
Yeah, physics, momentum.
Yes.
You know, there'd be times when we'd be in the shop and I would ask CJ, why are you doing this? Why are you wanting me to do it this way? I just want you to do it that way. You know, how bad did it suck balls to put the motor and transmission in one of these?
It wasn't too bad.
These, oh yeah, it is. Putting the engine and transmission in them is rough. Putting them in there and then sucking them down, and it's a job.
Well, the bullshit stock cars that I build, you know how many people have been in the shop when I'm putting a cage in? And they're like, why are we... Like, I always put the back seat bar in first with porta power, with my sidebars.
Mm-hmm.
And then I switched to my dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had, 20-pound bottle jacks with blocks and shit. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, I'm telling you, the tighter I can get every bit of this,
Less give it has come.
yes, that's exactly right. Because I'll have my sidebars, my door bars pushed completely out,
I mean,
to the-
there's a fine line though where you go too
Yeah, oh,
much
yeah.
and you start stretching
Right.
The body.
the body out.
And, on the first Ford that I helped Josh Gordon ever build, like this has been 10 years ago. I was just learning how all the pressure shit was working on the front ends and all that stuff. We were still cold bending shit and stuff like that. And I welded all of his door seams and shit solid. We cold bent it, put the spacers in at the boxes, and was getting ready to put the core support spacers in to get our pressure up front. And the spacers were too big. I knew they were as soon as we did it. So we kept pushing the core support up, pushing the core support, and finally blew the fucking doors out on it. It started creasing up the doors. And he's like, what are we going to do now? I was like, well, we're fucked. Like, we've already,
Yeah, you already took.
we went too far.
Yeah, you
Yep.
took the structural out.
Yep.
I was like, we went too far. Like, and he's like, well, fuck, what do we do now? I was like, well, what we did was we took the doors, beat them motherfuckers plumb in as far as we could and over the inside of the door, welded all that shit solid, tried to crease the door as good as we could, and I cut the fucking spacers down and we put them in. But at that point, we had already fucked up.
Well, what a lot of people don't even realize in my job, windshields are very important for any kind of structural for a vehicle now.
That's why you take those people that just throw a piece of chain over the window. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Stop.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if they let you run a piece of flat metal, run the fucking flat metal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's just to keep the hood and shit from. I was like, no.
No.
Maybe in your car,
Yeah.
which I run Mopars, so the firewall is everything to me. Like, I need as much of that firewall
Exactly.
there as I can have.
Yep.
Because that's where the motherfucker's going to bend at.
Exactly.
Every time. So as much as I can, pushing down on my firewall, that's what I want.
We talked earlier this year, roughly, I always said roughly 2 months for a mod car. Really. But that's hard work. I mean, that's not fucking around. That's 4 or 5 days at the shop or nights, all weekends, for roughly 2 months. You guys have put street stocks out all year long.
All year long.
Multiples. You a couple, dad a couple. How much time do you guys have in each one of these?
Well, my frame probably took a few days, couple days.
Probably between both cars, it probably took 2-3 months.
See, we've caught a lot of bullshit because we don't do any of the light weld stuff at our shows. And you all know just as well as I do.
It's dying.
It is.
It's dead around here.
Around here. It is.
Now you get up in Iowa and stuff like that. I'm
Well,
sure
the
it'd
bad
be
thing is,
okay.
back in the day, street stock was the shit. You know, like
Right.
here a few years ago, street stock was the shit.
Why do you think I jumped on board?
Yeah, and then like mods were dying back then.
Right.
Mods were dying, and only thing Derby is, it's a cycle.
Yes,
It
it's
is.
a
It's a
circle. It's a
cycle.
big
It
cycle.
goes,
100%.
it goes from bone stock up to mod, and then comes back down, and keeps going back and forth.
As on the promoter side of me, if you don't have your finger on the pulse of what is going on around you, you will fail.
Yep.
You will end up with those 20-car derbies.
And just like next year, I don't know where the fuck we're gonna run these cars next year. You know, after Blizzard Dash.
Well, you'll have a place to run them at Mother's Day
Okay.
if that show happens, because we've got some people standing in the background that want a mod cleanup show in Missouri.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of having to drive all the way
Right.
to northern Iowa.
But they don't want to run for $1,500. I don't understand that.
and that's what a lot of the shows are only going to pay $1,000, $1,500
But we have a guy that has already offered up $4,000 to make that class happen, and I told him with 12 cars, I would pay the rest of the payout. So we're talking a 525.
$525 and $1250, paying 3 spots. I
Yeah.
think that's what
Is
was
what we're with the 12 car.
Yeah,
The
and
12 car.
You'd bring some cars down from Iowa. I
Right.
know you would.
Right.
And then you'd bring some cars from southern Missouri.
And I've got Jerry. Yeah, he knows how to tech them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you take somebody who's been in the game as long as he has, he's seen so much shit.
He's built so much shit, so much different shit.
Yes. And like from the story my dad used to tell back in the day, like him and my dad
Right.
and Keith were always real tight,
Right.
moving cars and running together, and the shit that they tell me that they used to do. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You know, back in the day when you're probably before your dad really even started, or about the time he started, that's when a lot of times you see old school fair derbies where you see concrete dust and shit. You know, they hit ass to ass and there's a bunch of concrete dust. Well, so people started catching on to that. And there was an old boy from back home that he completely stripped a car, completely, took the frame and put it in a creek.
I've seen it happen.
And left it in a creek for a year. So all
Right
the
at the
sand and the dirt
Right at the end of a ripple.
can get in that frame and
And they would
solidify.
fill them. They would fill the frames with sediment out of the creek.
And then once it pulled out and dried, he said it's just damn near as hard as concrete. But it wasn't all that dust.
When you take something that's completely submerged in water, it won't rust.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
until it hits oxygen.
Yeah.
Oxygen.
Because if you do not have oxygen, metal won't rust.
So
That's why all that shit, you know, the bridges that they blow and put in the water and all that shit, they're just there. Ships.
That's why, and I think that's why you see a lot of these old guys, old school derby guys, backs are shot to shit.
Uh-huh.
I mean, well, you got hit with a tree, fool.
Well, how many times?
Where it first started was in Pleasant Hill in 2008, somewhere around there. My dad brought there were kicker. You can pretty well run what you run, you know. And he brought a 2-door Vic there, and with no kickers in the back. They had 4 kickers up front. You allowed 4 kickers and then say where they had to be. So we had 4 up front, and you know we just got bombed in the ass while I wasn't looking, and it took the breath out of me. I couldn't hardly move. So right there, I think is when it started my back.
Well, we've talked about big arm birds, you know. Little double frame wagon. That sumbitch had been everywhere. And it wasn't just double frame, it was skinned. I mean, I guarantee that wagon's still laying around somewhere.
Somewhere. And it's probably in the back of his shop. Yeah, I mean,
It took us, whenever my uncle and all of them were derby in the mid-'90s, it took us so long to figure out what they were doing to the cars. And like I told everybody before, whenever we first went over to Salisbury with that wagon that we built, it was a 76 wagon is what we had. And that car went through 13 derbies, placed in 10 of them. I mean, we went through more motors and transmissions than we did tires in that car. I think it weighed right at 9,200 pounds.
Oh goddamn! that's doing something.
Oh yeah, but I'm
Back
telling
then.
you, I can remember them. They pulled the body off that car, and it was in the shop for 3 months. The frame was of them stuffing shit and capping and all that shit. They took all the body mounts out and laid that motherfucker flat back on the frame, Everything was welded solid, seams, body seams were welded. It was
You
insane.
never would have thought back then people was putting that much time in them cars.
No.
Yeah.
Because you had the 16 to 18, 20, 25-year-old kids that were running that shit. They were shoving I-beam in the fenders and stuff and thinking they were doing something and had no clue what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can remember them with plate steel up front, back to the A-arms and them wagons, driving that shit as far back as they could get it, cutting it off, welded bumpers on them.
Remember, Dad told me a story. He had his 74 old 98, and he put leaf springs on it, and he put 1-inch steel on the top of the frame and stair stepped it all the way down to from the back bumper all the way up to the front of the spring pockets. And I'm like, how in the fuck did you all get by with that shit?
We had a
Back then, they didn't make you run
right.
body mounts.
Exactly.
That is why everybody's like, well, you at least need to be factory body mount, if not more,
At least
because
an
we
inch.
want to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, they just sucked that shit
the
down
last
and
car
welded
that
it
my
together.
uncle,
They didn't
the last
see it.
car my uncle built was a Monte Carlo, long front end. You know, short trunk, big long front on it, and that's whenever he built that 383 stroker, and it would turn 10 grand. Like that fucking motor would scream, and he went nose out all night up Moberly, and the front end on that car never moved, not one time. And everybody was like, well, "What have you all done to this? Well, what hadn't we done to it?"
Yeah, you need to reword that question. Yeah,
I mean, the frame was completely full of steel. They just didn't care.
And I didn't know how cars would bend back then like that,
Right.
too, because eventually, they would bend somehow.
Well, that wagon finally it looked like a fucking banana.
Yep.
It finally bit everything. And they didn't have the big, nasty rear ends that they do now. You know, they didn't have the postal Mopar shit. They didn't have all that
No
stuff.
raised hardly at all.
No. And I can remember the first time that we put a 3/4 ton rear end under a car, everybody was like, what? Well, it didn't say in the rules that you couldn't.
And, yeah.
Because I can remember we pulled it out of a 79 Chevrolet pickup.
and I think back then most of the time it was any factory
Rear
rear end. That gray area is huge.
Oh.
Huge.
I can remember, like, it was before the bracing and all that shit. We had a 14 bolt under that wagon that had a piece of inch steel that run from one side of that rear end and was cut out around the rear
back plate, yeah.
and all the way, and that motherfucker was laid, and they had welded, and there was gussets and shit off of
And
it.
you thought you were doing something back then.
Yeah.
Back then, if you had a 10 bolt with 12 bolt axles, you was doing something.
Well, everybody looked at this and were like, "Holy shit! What is this?" And now you look at it and you're like, well,
You need more.
You don't have near enough on that.
You're gonna burn the housing on that, bud.
I mean, I can remember them putting round tubing inside the brake drums on them as a axle saver. And all it did was bolted to the flange that was on the drums were still on it, but everything was gutted out of it, and it was just pipe that was the same size as the axle, or a little bit
The
smaller.
hub that sits up, it sits right against
Yes,
the next side,
100%.
just like that.
And they were doing that shit in 95, 96.
Yep.
And then everybody was going out there, the people that would throw cars together to go to the local shit and just getting annihilated. I remember the first set of tires I ever seen double. I was like, what is this?
Why don't you just throw a tube in it?
What are you all doing?
Like,
Because my 7, 8, 9-year-old self was like, holy shit, you guys.
believe it or not, this year is the first year we have ever just had double tire. We ran double tires solids and foam filled. Every year before this has been nothing but tubes.
Yeah.
Leave it to my dude to get the rear foam tires knocked out of Blizzard Bash.
Oh,
Yeah, but he
he's the
about
reason
killed
why we
like
can't
6
run
or 8
on
people.
that.
Well, it did hit the camera.
I was sitting in the stands and I was like, somebody's going to die
And
right
I'm
here.
pretty sure that one of them pieces of tire almost touched the ceiling.
It did.
It
It hit
did.
the camera. It hit the camera that was mounted to the roof.
And it came down and went through the
Because
crack.
you all were sitting over there by
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
and I was like, somebody's going to fucking die.
I don't know how that lady last year didn't die. What'd she get hit in the throat with? Like a piece of fan?
Is a piece
Yeah.
of fan.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's.
But you have that, like, everybody bitches about these derbies with that stuff. You have that anywhere. Because
Oh, yeah.
I've watched tractor pulls, I've seen turbos and shit come apart and end up out in the crowd.
Where was it? A drive shaft flew out of a derby and went
trike.
like all the way up
Yeah, the
in
tractor
the
pull.
stands.
That was on a
wasn't
truck.
like,
It was
Yeah, it
a
was on
Utah
a
or
truck.
some shit.
Yep.
yeah, I'm like,
And then
okay.
like a few years ago, at Warrington, that dude's flywheel blew, his transmission blew
Yes.
up. The flywheel came out of his car and went right behind the stands.
It's actually the hole still in the roof in the tin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched them blow blocks apart, and bearings and rods and shit are thrown into the crowd. So everybody says that shit about derbies, like it's not just us. I mean,
Yeah.
that shit happens at NASCAR races and everything else.
Oh yeah, you get
You know,
cars
if
going
that
in the catch.
transmission- If that transmission in anything blows up,
Yes.
you know, shit's, you're in a, like, a derby car, you know, you're probably gonna lose your fucking leg.
Right.
But,
Well, the
least
little
catch
boy
a little-
from Mexico was riding with Mike Martin.
Yeah.
Transmission went, flywheel came out and smoked him in the leg, and his leg was that far from.
You
the
remember
ground.
Palmyra, that chick that was in that car?
Yes.
oh, yeah, I wasn't there, but I heard about that.
That was
When
bad.
the oil hit
That
on
did
that
that.
sunburn,
That shit scared me
I
to
left.
death.
Yeah,
I
she
left 10 minutes before that
You know, I
happened.
got a phone call from the ambulance district over that, from Marion County.
Oh.
Yeah, they were like, this lady said that you all were the ones paying for this. I was like, what? I don't even know.
So,
No. I was like,
She signed a waiver,
I
didn't
was like,
she?
she
Yeah.
signed that shit. I was like, absolutely not.
yeah.
I was like, tell her to have her lawyer get a hold of mine. I was like, condolences. You know, like,
Yeah,
Sorry
get
about
well
you.
soon.
sorry about you. I told you not to run the fucking car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough titties.
Yeah.
Tough today's fucking, don't run pile of shit.
That is that section of you got to realize what you're going to go take and run against. Well, I just threw this together. Okay, you probably shouldn't run it.
Well, he said he just got out of prison. That was the first. That was the first red flag. He's
Yeah.
like, I used to build cars before I went to prison. I was like, was that 93?
Homie should have took a welding class in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, put the
And the
screwdriver
crazy
back
thing
in the cage,
the
boy.
crazy thing is, they do that now.
I remember one time I was in Pleasant Hill rocking with my buddies, and I remember him backing up, and I just remember him going, "Holy fuck, that hurt!" And I guess his bell housing broke in half, and the whole transmission spun, and his gear shifter hit him in his leg. And I can't believe it didn't rip it. It tore the whole floorboard out of the car and everything. I don't know how it didn't break his leg.
Well, he runs the shifter that's still transmission mounted, you know.
Yeah.
There was an old boy from Clarence run at Macon, got smoked in the passenger door, and he hit so hard it broke his kneecap on that shifter.
Yeah, mine's not. I'm not going to have that in there for Peoria. Because I run it out there at Blizzard Bash, was just kind of counting my blessings on it. I'm going to go ahead and put a cable shifter in it before I go to Peoria.
Hey, speaking of Peoria, how many spots do you boys get?
3.
You got all three.
Yes.
All three.
So Elena's going to be.
Should have just got four.
Well, she was actually supposed to get a youth spot. I think Pops just forgot about that.
Did he forget about it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or did he say, do we really want to build another son of a bitch all winter long?
Yeah.
But
Cause she don't come down here and help on these fucking cars. She comes down, she sits in there and gets her little seat thing, and that's it. We don't see her the rest of the time.
I don't think my boss just appreciated my text message back. He said, don't leave the house till I've talked to you. I'm going to look at the weather this afternoon and make a decision. And everybody else in the group chat was like, okay, just let me know. And I said, yes, Daddy, with the kiss face. He's
you know,
still
because of
typing.
that, you're going to be the last son of a bitch to get laid off, right? So you guys have got your Blizzard Bash rides, what I can see, pretty damn close.
Yep, Cody's is done except for some chain. Mine needs a carburetor.
What color are these shits going to be?
Black, blue, and
Gray.
gray.
Which somebody did snap me the other day, and he kind of thought maybe we were going to go out there to do some interviews.
The people still can't see who the fuck you're pointing at.
Dalen,
Okay, there we go.
which would be an awesome idea.
I'm not going.
I'm not either.
I'm out.
117 ain't gonna be the same without you guys.
Oh, fuck, man.
But we have put our eggs in the basket to go to Peoria. We've done the Carnage thing. We've done the Blizzard Bash thing.
There's so many times, and the big determining factor on no Blizzard Bash for Steven was the fucking hotel situation.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Where did you guys? Did you guys
We
get
had to go
hotels
to
at?
the casino?
You're at
which
the
is
casino?
Way,
Oh, yeah.
way cheaper than been way funner.
We've always heard once you get so many miles outside of the
Expo Center.
Expo Center, it gets way fucking cheaper.
Like it was like a third.
Yeah, but man, I'm telling you, I was given $100 a night.
They have bed bugs?
No, at Plaza.
Oh.
When it first started.
Yes.
Yeah, when it first started, it was cheap. Now it's
They jacked
at the
the price.
Ramada alone. I was pricing rooms, and they're like, we have this 3-bed room left, and
Nope.
I was like, how much for a week? And they said $2,000. I'm like, fuck that.
Well,
Topeka Inn on the very end of Southwest Topeka Boulevard.
right.
$52 a night for
Well,
two
Am
people.
I gonna get murdered?
No,
No, just
you're
raped a
right
little.
on the boulevard.
Just touched.
You might just get
Is there
like.
a hole in the wall? People watch me shower?
Nope.
It's glory
It is
hole.
glory hole.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is
the shitty part about it
seriously
is for
clean.
$52, you only get like 3/4 of a blowjob. You got to finish the last quarter.
Serious.
Which was
It's
always-
clean. You're only there enough to take a shower, take a nap anyways.
Which always pissed me off on that 3/4 of a blowjob. Like I would like the last 3/4.
Give me the last quarter.
because I'll take care of the first quarter. Of it.
He said, I'll get it up.
Yeah, like, here.
I'll get it warmed up for you.
But
I'll get it where all you got to do is blow on it.
have you guys got your rooms full or Peoria?
Oh yeah. Mom usually takes care of all that.
Where are you staying?
We're gonna stay right.
The main.
We're gonna stay right across the street.
We
where you
have
can walk
a
over.
bunch of people staying in that
Well, I
hotel.
made sure to coordinate with our people to make sure we all got in the same place. And I've got 2 rooms because I guess I'm going to take Dick Beater's side with us too.
Why do I gotta be a dick beater?
No, because you beat dicks. I don't know.
He's gonna give you the other.
I get a nice shout out from Derek last week. Not even from you because you got off the phone. I get a nice shout out from Derek, and now you're calling me a dick beater.
Well, you'll have that on the bigger jobs.
Yeah.
Hey, I've tried to tell Dalen I'll come over and play in the woods with him, help him out, just run him off work. Cody won't let me.
I don't let anybody.
We don't want nobody to come out. People get hurt out there.
Get hit with trees and shit.
I
Yeah.
told him I just want to get in the dozer and just make piles.
Honestly, we don't even use that fucking.
Yeah, our dozer right now is
That's what
stationary.
you all should have brought to me.
Dozer.
Kept your all skid
Fuck.
loader. That way you all
That's
could have
750 would have been. That's 750, right? John Deere?
Yeah, I think it's 700 or 750.
It's 700J.
About 5 pushes to each end for each end berm and 10 on each side.
Dad's-
Hour and a half, track
Dad's
built,
track
done.
record of hauling that thing is not good.
I tell you what, we were actually heading to a job one day. We didn't even strap it down. He's like, we're
It's
only.
like right
I mean,
now.
I know.
He didn't even strap it down.
He said, we're only going a mile, buddy. He said, it'll be fine. I was like, Dad, it's wet.
It's wet and it's cold.
And hold on. Anyway, we're getting there, and the entrance to this thing is right before the start of a steep hill. Well, it's off to the right, so it starts to lean over at a degree. Well, that's wide. That's like a long ass trailer. Anyway, he starts turning in there, and there's this Tacoma that he's a hunter, and he's hunting right off the road, and he's parked back probably 20 feet, but he's taking up where Dad needs to turn. So Dad's like, "Fuck it." He's like, I'm gonna make the turn a little sharper. He turns. I was like, "This motherfucker gonna flip this dozer off." I get my phone out. Yeah, I get my phone out and I take a video. And sure enough, I see that dozer start sliding. It fucking hits the dirt. I see this man get out, and he is flipping the fuck out. He's getting ready to wad this fucking dude's Tacoma up with his picker truck.
Yeah, with his picker truck. You're gonna grab this bitch and throw it off in the woods.
And this hunter comes out. I mean, fucking speed walking.
Oh yeah,
And,
and all this whole time, Dad's going, "These fucking hunters are some dumb motherfuckers." Screaming as fucking loud as he can. This fucking hunter comes out of the woods. He's like, "I'm sorry." You know?
He's like, "Am I in your way?"
Yeah. He's like, "Oh no, buddy."
No, just catch this 40,000 pound dozer on your roof, dumbass.
Yeah, while the skidder's getting ready to hook up to it.
You know, there's been 2 derbies. I've moved people's vehicles with a skid loader. They do not like that.
Fuck no, they don't.
I had somebody come up. They were like, "How'd that get moved?" I was like, "Well, fucking skid loader. Get the fuck out of the
I
way."
got
Yeah,
forks.
ask your parking pin.
Well, what I did was they had receiver hitches on.
Then you just pick him up by this receiver.
I fucking dropped a hitch pin in that bitch and pushed him out of the way.
So, Blizzard Bash. Then you guys are going to get back from Blizzard Bash and pretty
Start
much
building.
start on Peoria cars. But you did say Petatonica is June. That's way the hell up there.
And I ran there before.
He got his ass wadded up in a corner.
Yeah, Nick Nugent.
I think I'm gonna try to draw into the stock class for that one.
Is that the $50,000 to win class, or
He ain't gonna sign up for a 50G to win class.
that's the one? That's the one where I'm gonna try an old iron out.
Oh,
Well, which is crazy because for that stock class, I'm gonna try a fucking 98 tuck too.
You'll
For
like
real.
it.
I'm surprised you haven't pimped him to bring it here.
Well, we'll see if I gotta get in first.
No, I mean for Peoria.
You know,
No,
how
that's
many
right.
people have messaged me wanting me to like build frames and shit for them over this last year.
Which I do know you were doing some like body shaping.
Yeah, I do body shaping for people.
You know,
Well,
for guys.
my deal is I don't call on people until I'm building what they like. Nobody likes Mopars.
If you'd ask me to build a Mopar in the shop, I'd tell you to get the fuck up out of here. I already have that kind of shit up around here.
Well, dudes, we will be watching. I actually took Friday off, so if you guys run at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't have to get up on Friday.
Well,
I think-
good thing qualifying first.
I keep telling everybody that I'm not going out there. I think I may run out Sunday to watch.
You hope,
What?
because if you're not laid off, say you got to go somewhere way.
Well, you're gonna be right out there by Oklahoma.
Honestly, if it's Chanute or somewhere of that nature,
Yeah, you're what, an hour?
yeah, an hour and a half drive from where I need to be. So I thought about running out there, maybe even that Saturday night, and going ahead and burning it way down. Because I don't know that I've missed one yet. Because I was out there for a minute last year.
You went out on Saturday,
No,
Friday,
went out Wednesday.
when you were coming back.
Uh-huh. No, I delivered a camper in Grain Valley,
Yep.
rolled out.
So
I was going to sleep in my truck, but I didn't.
you did not, but you got shit faced.
Well, it's an understatement. I tried to steal the bibs off, or the fucking suspenders off a dude out there. I don't know. It was crazy. Corey Ludington was the voice of reason, if that tells
So
you
if you went out
anything.
there this year, you try to steal Dad's bibs off his since it was his first year ago.
Well, no, these were suspenders. It was,
Hold on, he said it.
oh, yeah.
He said it. I can't believe you
No,
said
no,
it.
no, yeah, but I want him in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. Maybe if he gets a little bit of a, watching it and sees. Because you got to admit, that there's no atmosphere around.
Like that. Yeah, I mean, it is. We
Well,
call it
everybody
the
always
Super. It's
talks
like the
about
Super Bowl.
Everybody talks about the Chief Stadium. Yeah.
This is like the Super Bowl
Yeah.
of Derby, and I mean, it really is. The atmosphere, the facility, the track is fucking ginormous.
Well, he just went to Capital Carnage this year, the first time he's ever even been out to
And he loved it.
He loved it. He's like, this is badass, you know? And I'm like, really?
This ain't shit.
Kosher.
Yeah, like, this
We
is
had to-
fucking low key.
Yeah,
We had to beg him to come.
this is like WNBA compared to NBA. I mean, really, it
It's like,
is.
you need to come out for Blizzard Bash. You want to see buckets of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a whole different deal.
And I kind of heard that they're going to run compacts on Monday. So
Yeah, ain't no shit. You ain't got to watch him.
I keep
Hey,
saying that shit.
had to
We,
watch them last night.
we actually
Yeah.
sponsor
Yeah.
a fucking,
I was gonna say 2 of our techs are running out there.
and I think Lish has already given their check. for that,
Yep,
so.
gave it to them.
And I'm pulling for
Last
Danny
Saturday.
Hobbs' team. I hope they do good out there. I like Danny.
I hope that all the Missouri teams do good. Honestly,
Yes, that's what we're hoping because there's
See,
actually
I quit-
5 Missouri teams.
I know so many people that run out there that I just want Missouri to come back. I don't even give a fuck who does it anymore.
Yeah, I want
Like in
5
the
Missouri
Missouri
teams
shit,
to be
like
in the feature.
SMS or you know, Caddy Nation, whoever. I want them to bring that money, and whatever they do at 1 and 2, I really like that.
Yes.
As he puffs on a cigar.
I really was surprised that year that I run a stock class out there. That was Missouri's year. Like we took all of that. We brought all of it back.
It's nice. You know,
But well, whenever we got out there, there was like 11 of us
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Missouri. I was like, well, it's gonna be nice.
We
for
got
all
good
of us.
odds.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, qualifying side, it's still stacked.
No, it's stacked.
Oh, yeah.
It's stacked. There's good drivers coming out of Iowa.
but it's cool because one of your guys' buddies, you know, PJ,
Yes.
they got moved to the national side, so you don't have to deal with that crazy son of a bitch.
Well, actually,
For a
yeah,
day.
we do.
Yeah, we do all weekend, actually.
We actually got our tents put together.
Yeah, our
Oh,
tents are
God.
He
Yeah.
ordered our tents for us, and a good thing too, because I like them pork cutlets at Phil Brings. Them some good bitches.
Well, we've all been out there before.
No, I haven't.
These tents and this camper shit has almost gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
Well, they
This
put
year
a
they had to
put a stop on tents.
Yeah, they put a
There's
stop
only
on
so
tents.
many.
Like we had to, or PJ had to call in the day that
You could get
she
them.
messaged us and said, you can't just bring a tent this year. You got to get with us, and we're gonna mark off a space for you guys. And
Well, dude, that year I run out there because 18s, whenever the tent thing started getting ignorant, I got out there and was like, where in the fiddle fuck am I supposed to park? I thought I was going to have to stop.
There's fucking
I
tents.
thought I was going to have to
everywhere.
park fucking O'Reilly's.
Look
Well,
like
Team
fucking
America. That's
tribes
when
out
Team
there.
America with Brad and Tyson and them guys. That was the first time I saw this tent, and I mean, this son of a bitch was like a carnival tent.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
oh my god.
Well, I went in there whenever they had all that. And I was expecting to see an elephant or something doing a fucking handstand in a bucket of water or whatever. But, I mean, and then it rained and rained. And there was fucking water standing everywhere. It was,
I don't think I went that year.
well, this was last year.
Oh, was it?
Oh, fuck.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
was the
rained.
night before. It was when we were driving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember I got that fucking ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember you guys sending Snapchats, and it was raining its balls
Yeah, I
off on the
remember
way
that.
out.
We were
It was
driving.
So,
We
I
were.
mean, there was water standing in these tents and shit.
I mean, I don't know if I'd much rather it rain or be cold as shit and snow it. Like,
I've
both of them
never,
are
like I
pretty
said,
fucking bad.
I have never been there when it was cold. It was like 16 to
2019 I went.
18 was a bitch.
Yeah,
It
the
was-
first day I pulled out there, and I was freezing fucking balls. It was
Three-
like 35
Three
degrees.
cars
I
didn't
don't-
come in on my class because they burnt the starters up.
Trying
Trying to get the motherfucker
And,
started.
you know-
Zach O'Neill was one of them.
And I pray to God this year that it's warm out there because this is my first time running methanol, and I've heard
Oh,
that
fuck.
they are finicky.
You have your carburetor guy with you?
Yeah, he'll be there, I think.
Well,
Hold
that's
on.
all you got to worry about because
Do you have the carburetor that I think you have on there?
Willie's.
Bueno.
Okay.
well, I know that my junk little Mopar wouldn't run, and Josh Gordon had to rejet the motherfucker out there.
Was you on just gas?
Gas.
Oh, no shit.
I will tell you,
Well,
what
we-
Willie's will tell you when
we
it's
had-
cold.
we had tuned
They
the
will tell
motherfucker
you
for 7
to
degree
actually
weather.
change the jet,
7
the
degrees.
initial jet in it, and then you can do your click. When it's cold, I think it's
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have a little squirt bottle of race fuel.
yes. I was
And
going
I'm
to tell you
gonna
to
squirt the. But before when they let us in there and impound before it heat, I'm gonna have a torpedo heater in there on my oil pan.
Yes.
just fill them bowls up before you start it, and
I was at the point before I pulled in there, my car wouldn't run where the fuck. And I was like, just cut the lower radiator hose. Like, this bitch will run then. Let get the water out.
Yeah, it runs better when it gets hot.
Yes.
You know? Yep.
And I did it myself after I got in there, so it was all good. First fucking hit, busted bottom already. I looked at it, I was looking through my firewall, I was like, well, there went all the fucking water. This is cool.
fixed.
About that time it started steaming a little bit, I was like, well, it ought to start running better, and it did.
It's weird that they do shit like that.
Well, that Mopar, mine, it don't want to run unless it's hot.
Well, Cedric's got into that Mopar shit this time or whatever. He's sitting there sending me Snapchats, all this crazy shit that Mopar has inside them engines. All the extra oiling system and the rockers. And
They
all that shit.
love heat. I've told everybody my motor runs better over 200 degrees.
Yeah, but I told him, I was like, no wonder they're so expensive to build. They got crazy shit up in there.
Mine never died. It was an 18-minute run out there at Blizzard Bash, and I never once had to restart that car. Now, it wouldn't move because the transmission was burned up in it, but it was still running. And after it sat out there for the other 20 minutes of the heat, my wife jumped in it and boom, fired it up and drove it off the fucking track.
Weird how that works. Isn't it?
And then she got out in the parking lot and it wouldn't pull itself up on the trailer. Because I tried, I sat out there for a while. I was
Well,
like,
something
it'll come
expands
back.
in there with heat.
Well,
Expands in there.
I didn't realize that I should have over tightened the bands in it before we went out there. I didn't know that was an option.
It's just like that on Dodge trucks too.
Yeah.
And whenever you got transmission slipping,
Yeah.
you can tighten the bandit on.
Yeah. And everybody told me, and I've kind of learned that that's the save all in them Dodges. You know, you got to check tranny fluid in them in neutral. If you do anything with them, if you'll put them in neutral, let them run for like 15 minutes before you shut them off. Because whenever you put them
It
back
sends
in
constant
park,
pressure through it. Yeah.
which I'm gonna try something a little different now that Cy got me what he got me the other day. I would say at Peoria you'll see me with a different type of shifter because I've got a 4-speed.
Oh, those little bitty short bastards.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And this is out of a 89 two-wheel drive, maybe 84, something like that. But yeah, I've got a 4-speed now.
You can be able to handle that life.
Well, the only thing that I'm worried about is where to put the other fucking pedal. Because those cars are little.
Or little and he big.
Take the brake out.
I'm going to put a fucking hand clutch on the shifter.
Or a hand brake and just run 2 pedals.
Thought about that too.
Run a clutch
Sounds
pedal.
horrible.
We'll run a
You had to do
Why?
this and be like
No,
shifting.
No, I'm
You're
going to
already
put the
here.
fucking brake on the shifter.
put it on the
Yeah,
shifter where
makes sense.
your brake pedal is your clutch pedal,
Yeah.
and then have the brake as your shifter.
Yeah. Okay.
Be like a dirt bike.
That would
Yeah.
work.
It's been talked about.
Yeah, that would work. Because that would suck to try to shift. And
Be like twin stick.
it'd be like, yeah,
I was
try to
about to say,
drive
you be
on
twin
old-
sticking
old
that
wheels or
motherfucker.
whatever, yeah.
We'll see what happens. I got to get the fucking car built first.
Well, boys, we appreciate you guys having us over. We told you we'd catch you before Blizzard Bash. Now we're down to the nut cutting time. So
I'm getting ready to go start buying tools and loading shit up.
that's the deal. They got a week of loading shit up.
That's why I don't miss that shit. That's why I like one and done classes.
Yep.
I love that
You
shit.
know, we ain't experienced it yet, so we want to try it, one time for.
And you might
hopefully
love
we'll
it.
never die.
You might love it. And you
I
might turn
guarantee
around and
you've
say,
never-
fuck this.
I guarantee you've never experienced sleep deprivation like you're going through this year.
Theirs is a little different.
I know
Because
limited
they,
will, you
they,
can work
they
all
don't
night.
get them all night.
Yeah, we can't work on
Yeah,
that.
but
shit
you've
go-
got to still have, because both of these motherfuckers drink.
But I bet you they know if they got a bunch of shit to do, they will low key it down a little bit.
No,
You say that.
Cody's going, nope.
no,
We're
normally,
probably burning baby dolls up.
yeah.
And I would love to experience that with you all, but I don't know if they'll let me go back
I'm gonna
in
see
there.
it. I'm gonna see if I want to sit
Just
on my
got a shade,
face.
maybe go in there.
I'm thinking AJ Steakhouse in Peoria. That's when we can all kind of partake in that. You know,
I'm thinking Big Al's in
Something about
Peoria.
me too is like when I go to big places like that, I'm a big like food connoisseur, so I like to eat like cool shit around there.
someplace that you don't eat.
Yeah, that I can get at
Something you're
home,
known
you know.
for.
Yeah, but every time I eat at a strip club, either my wife's mad or the
Wrong sampler platter, fucker.
Wrong seafood platter.
Steven, get your finger out of that.
Yeah.
My germs.
Wrong seafood platter.
Oh God.
Oh my. If you try to go back for a second.
Dalen. You just pulled out a Ron Simmons talking.
There's so
Damn.
many different flavors at those places.
Damn.
Some people like different flavors of different things.
Do y'all see what I get to work with?
I mean,
Not for much longer.
Well, we still got the podcast.
At least he's like makes it interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah, because whenever I'm gone, they're PG and
Cut 'em
fucking,
off.
they're vanilla. Like,
They're racist.
They're like pillow queens.
Derek's all business and shit.
Yeah, professional. You ain't gonna get past 154th spot on the podcast rankings in PG.
I try not to be PG anymore.
I quit. We were trying
Yeah.
so hard at first.
I told you all the podcast that had Pound Town in the title has been viewed the most.
And I don't think it's because of Austin. I think it's because all these people think, hey, whoa, what's this Pound Town shit?
Well, then
So here, let's listen.
we need
that's-
to talk to
Pound,
our
pound.
our logistics lady,
Find your
and we
best
need these
hashtags.
dirty ass titles.
Yeah, you need to come up with some like.
What's a hashtag?
Like
you
Brown
use?
Town.
Anything?
I mean, I got a good name. Chody for me. I mean, I don't know what that fucking dude has. Cheater.
I'm just staying.
Cheater.
I'm
Well,
kidding.
guys, good luck at Blizzard Bash. We're going to let you get to the finishing stages of what you guys got going on. Like I said,
CJ's gonna be over here pretty soon. Got to put a carb on it too.
Yeah. I gotta go to Heroes to pick up an old 98 for a 9802.
see, they've got
Grinding all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Couple
making
weeks and
moves,
it's
doing
already-
shit.
it's all that hustling.
Well, he needed a new style, and I said, I'll tell you what. I said, so I'll give you a new style. I
So
said,
you're coming off one of them fucking old ones.
yeah, that's exactly what I said. He said, Cody, no. He said, I can't do it. I said, no, that's the only way.
That's the only way, boys.
You go find a clean 98 do it to yourself then.
Watch that little fucker though. Well, I say
There ain't
little.
nothing little
He's
about
not
that
little
guy.
anymore.
I'll try it.
He'll fuck around and horn delete you.
Boys, make jump.